Welcome to SS2 Civic Education. This lesson covers gender-based violence and the legal framework, the laws, institutions, and mechanisms in Nigeria that define, prohibit, and address gender-based violence. This is an essential civic topic that directly affects families and communities across Nigeria. Gender-based violence, abbreviated GBV, refers to harmful acts directed against persons because of their gender. While both men and boys can experience gender-based violence, women and girls bear a disproportionate burden as victims. Gender-based violence includes physical violence, assault, battering, domestic violence, sexual violence, rape, sexual assault, sexual harassment, female genital mutilation, psychological or emotional violence, threats, humiliation, intimidation, isolation, economic violence, financial control, preventing employment, denying property rights, early and forced marriage, and trafficking and sexual exploitation. In Nigeria, gender-based violence occurs in homes, schools, workplaces, and communities. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NERDC, reports that domestic violence, rape, and sexual exploitation affect millions of Nigerians, particularly women and girls in both urban and rural areas. The most important federal law addressing gender-based violence in Nigeria is the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015, known as VAPP. The VAPP was signed into law by President Goodluck Jonathan in May 2015. Key provisions of VAPP: VAPP criminalizes domestic violence and provides for court-ordered protection orders for victims. It criminalizes rape and defines rape broadly to include marital rape, making it illegal for a spouse to force sexual intercourse on their partner. Maximum sentence for rape: life imprisonment. VAPP criminalizes female genital mutilation and cutting, both the act and facilitating the act. The act prohibits harmful traditional practices, all practices that negatively affect human rights, including the isolation of widows, stripping a widow of property, and forcing a widow to remarry or have sex as part of mourning rites. VAPP establishes a national database of convicted perpetrators. It provides for a Violence Against Persons Prohibition Fund to support victims. Limitation: VAPP applies only in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, as a federal act, though many Nigerian states have enacted their own domesticated versions. Beyond the VAPP, several other laws address gender-based violence. The Child Rights Act of 2003 prohibits child marriage and protects children from sexual exploitation and abuse. The Trafficking in Persons, Prohibition, Enforcement and Administration Act defines and prohibits trafficking and sexual exploitation. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended guarantees equality and freedom from discrimination, although these provisions are sometimes insufficiently enforced. Key institutions addressing gender-based violence in Nigeria: the National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, NAPTIP, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, state gender desks within police commands, the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, Nigeria, and state-level domestic and sexual violence response teams, DSVRTs, established in some states. Sexual offences laws: Lagos, Ekiti, Cross River, and Ogun states have enacted their own sexual offences laws that align with or expand on VAPP provisions. Survivors of gender-based violence in Nigeria have multiple avenues for reporting and accessing support. Police: every state command has a family support unit or gender desk. While under-resourced, these units are specifically trained to handle GBV cases. NAPTIP has offices in 12 states and a toll-free helpline, 0800 900 9000. The Gender Mobile app launched by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons allows victims to report incidents and access emergency support. Legal Aid Council of Nigeria provides free legal services to indigent persons. NGOs including WAEC, Women Advocates Research and Documentation Center, CLEN Foundation, and Baobab for Women's Human Rights provide support, shelter, and legal advocacy. Challenges in reporting: stigma remains the greatest barrier to reporting in Nigeria. victims fear blame, family pressure, or retaliation. Police attitude and inefficient justice processes often discourage victims from pursuing complaints. Today we covered that gender-based violence includes physical, sexual, psychological, and economic violence against persons because of their gender. The VAPP 2015 is the key federal law. It criminalizes domestic violence, rape including marital rape, female genital mutilation, and harmful traditional practices. Key institutions include NAPTIP, NHRC, and state gender desks. Reporting avenues include the Police Family Support Unit, NAPTIP Helpline, and civil society organizations. Civic responsibility: if you witness or know of gender-based violence, report it to appropriate authorities. Silence protects perpetrators. For your civic action exercise, find out the contact information of the nearest NAPTIP office or state gender desk in your state and share it with your class.